So what is your opinion in regards to this ever-growing dependence on AI?
In healthcare sector, artificial intelligence is being used for diagnostics. In education sector, artificial intelligence is being used. For employment, artificial intelligence is getting used.
Artificial intelligence is either a job killer or it's your new best friend. How can companies train their employees to use AI in a productive way?
But who is making sure that the technologies that is being used quite extensively is actually been created for the benefit of humankind? How we create a balance where there is parity between the people who are providing the raw material for this technology and people who are using it. Because for a long time, technology gets used and created for the benefit of few.
Welcome to Meet the Leader, and we're honored to have with us today Professor Dr. Subhajit Basu, who is a Professor of Law and Technology at the School of Law, University of Leeds, UK. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Kuda.
Presently, AI is being used for every human need, be it for health sector, education sector, governance sector, and even for personal customized necessities for better lifestyle. Actually, according to National University, 77% of devices globally now incorporate some form of AI. So you have a wide research on AI laws and policies. So what is your opinion in regards to this ever-growing dependence on AI, and how can Parul University contribute in such researches to manage AI for the benefit of society at large?
Thank you for the question. It's really interesting and quite a good question. Now, artificial intelligence is an innovation or a technology. It's nothing like we have seen before. It's one of a kind for human civilization. And with a technology as powerful, as versatile, and as innovative as AI is, it comes with its benefits and also its challenges. What we are now seeing is artificial intelligence is getting developed. It's working at a capacity which is bare minimum. So we haven't seen what it would become in future. From my research experience, what I have seen, the intersection between artificial intelligence and legal and ethical and policy issues, that is where the trouble is. So we are looking at the moment, we're looking in healthcare sector, artificial intelligence is being used for diagnostics. In education sector, artificial intelligence is being used. For employment, artificial intelligence is getting used. But who is making sure that the technology, this artificial intelligence which is getting used, is not suffering from biasness? It's not discriminating against a particular person or an individual. Who is ensuring that the technology that is being used quite extensively is actually being created for the benefit of humankind? Or is it getting created for the benefit of a particular group of humankind? Now, one of my research focus is on Global South, and I'm looking at how artificial intelligence can be regulated, benefiting the Global South. Because a lot of artificial intelligence is getting developed with data that is being harvested from the Global South. But the technology itself is not getting used for the Global South. So how we create a balance where there is parity between the people who are providing the raw material for this technology and people who are using it. So the question here is, how can Parul University, as a new forward-looking, forward-thinking university, contribute in this global debate? I think that Parul has got a lot of scope in developing a framework, an interdisciplinary framework. So you have people working on artificial intelligence within the university who are innovators. And then you have got people in, say, humanities faculty, lawyers, sociologists, social workers, who can then work with them to make sure the artificial intelligence is created which is ethically sound, legally it follows the rule of law, and also it benefits the humankind. We do not want an artificial intelligence which goes against the need of the human society, which actually hampers the human society. So Parul as an institute can ensure that environment, and particularly in the context of Global South and in the context of India, we have to protect the interest of the Global South. We have to protect the interest of countries in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America. Because for a long time, technology gets used and created for the benefit of few in the Western world. So Parul as an institute can create this interdisciplinary environment for the benefit of a lot, not for a few.
Thank you. That is very interesting. Thank you so much, sir. So basically, to create a balance for everyone and inclusivity. That is, thank you so much, sir. So as a law professor, you talked about these challenges and everything. So as a law professor, do you think that contemporary challenges to the society, like crimes against women and children, like equal access to justice, equal access to healthcare systems and education systems, may be addressed through the interdisciplinary research that you just mentioned? And these researchers that include sectors like engineering, medical, media, journalism. If we intersect all of those with law, can these challenges be curbed or addressed better?
Absolutely, you're 100% right about this. Look, we have for a long time, we have tried to address our social problem, our educational problem, our economic problem in silos, okay? But have we really managed to solve them? We haven't. So as lawyers, I know that we have created law which really do not work. Why? The reason is we never talked to the people who created the technology. Okay? A prime example of this is when cybercrime legislations were enacted 30 years ago. Those legislations were enacted without actually understanding how computers work or can develop for the future or in the future. So you gave the example of women and children's rights. Yes. We have created law. The laws are in existence at the moment. Do they work? Not really. Can we enforce that law all the time? No. So where have we gone wrong? Well, the law itself, there is no problem with it. It is the enforcement of the law where the problem starts. Now, I think in this way, if we could create a technological mean, talking to the engineers or medical professional, we create an app, okay, which can identify vulnerable women. We all know women around the world suffers from domestic violence. And 90% of that gets unreported. Why? Because of the fear, okay? If we create a system, we get an app. So I'm just giving you an example of different disciplines coming together to work. If we create an app where there is a reporting system, discreetly report if someone feels threatened, okay? And then that if that app can contain facilities which can give a mental support, okay? The app developer won't know how to include those attributes. As lawyers, we can tell you what the law says, but we cannot create an atmosphere where the law is implemented, the rights are protected. And this is where engineers comes in, psychologists comes in, people from the medical profession comes in. The same goes for child protection. If you look at the world before internet, child pornographic material, pedophilic material was always available, okay? What internet did, it made it easily available, but it also made sure the technology which created internet also made sure that we can control it. Yeah. So law went there. It was difficult to enforce because it was difficult to identify the perpetrators. it was difficult to identify the creators. Now, with the technological means, it is easier to identify the perpetrators. It is easier to identify the creators. So with the help of the software developers and sometimes hardware developers, law enforcement authorities around the world have managed to curb, to a lot of extents, this kind of material. So there is a synergy. We cannot continue to work in this world in silos with our own interest. I have worked with my colleagues from School of Medicine. We have worked on healthcare data. We have tried to understand how healthcare data can be used for the benefit of the patient. I would not have that level of understanding how the value of the data, the attributes that should be there in the data for it to be useful for a doctor if I hadn't worked with my colleagues in the School of Medicine.
Yeah.
I worked with colleagues in School of Computer Science. I worked with colleagues in Institute of Transport Studies. In every research I have done, I have spoken with my colleagues who have a much better understanding in those particular areas, in those particular technologies. And that helped me to understand where are the gray areas where law can step in to regulate. So we are moving towards a world where interdisciplinary research is the way forward.
Oh, thank you for that perspective, sir. So basically, united we stand, divided we fall.
Absolutely.
Power and unity. I love that. So, sir, Leeds University, the university where you're obviously from, the law department has produced famous alumni, including the present Prime Minister of the UK, Sir Keir Rodney Starmer. So tell us what strategy of legal education may be adopted by us, Parul University, to motivate students of law to become good and responsible lawmakers.
So the current Prime Minister, British Prime Minister, is an alumni of law school, and I had the opportunity to meet him.
Oh, nice.
He's a wonderful person. So I'm not saying just because he's an alumni.
No biases.
But it is true. Yes. So what makes a law school like Leeds Law School stand out, because there are around 83 or 84 law schools in the United Kingdom. Leeds Law School is one of those top 20 law schools, which we call the Russell Group University, where research is our core focus. We call it research-led teaching. Our research directly feeds into our teaching. So I will go to a lecture so I teach an optional module in year 3, which is the final year for our law students, final semester, cyber law. So a lot of time in my lectures, I will discuss the research I've been doing, the publication I just had or I'm working on. What that does, it creates an interest within the student to know something more than what is there in the textbook. Textbook will always tell you what the law is, what the case law is, and how that particular case has been decided.
Yeah.
But you need students to become critical thinkers. If you want a leader, you want that leader to be critically thoughtful. Okay? That is what we want from our students, to critically assess a particular issue. And that is, I have to say very humbly, Leeds Law School is quite good at. We're trying to train our students from the first year to be that critical thinker, to question. Okay? Is this interpretation of law what it should be? Is this what the policymakers or the lawmakers intended it to be? So when they write their essays from second year onwards, we give them questions which will force them to think outside the box, which will require them to read a lot of peer-reviewed journal articles or books, monographs, read different views, understand them, then write it in their own words with their own perception. So we want to create the future leaders through their critical thinking, through their independent learning. Okay? I can tell you a lot about where to find the law. Okay, I can tell you a lot about what that particular law says. But for you to understand that and then use it later on in your profession, whether you become a lawyer or you go somewhere else, you have to have an understanding which is of your own.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So at our university, faculties and students are engaged with different types of research, including policy analysis, cancer research, stress management, related research, energy sector related research, also just to name but a few. So in what way can such interdisciplinary research contribute to the academic world and industry and be made more beneficial to the society as a whole?
So as I told you, University of Leeds is one of the top research universities in the United Kingdom. And for a long time, we used to do research which never benefited society. Okay. What we call ivory tower thinking. Okay, it's very high thinking, but what is the application of it? How is society going to benefit from it? We never thought about it. Particularly, it was very relevant in social sciences. We have to think that these universities are trying to produce this intellectual property, this intellectual knowledge, but it has to benefit someone in some way. It has to benefit the society, okay? It has to, so take for example, energy and environment. Climate change is such a big issue now. How can we do research which will ensure that we may not be able to stop the climate change, at least reduce the rate of it, okay? So the benefit to the society is important. The benefit to the mankind is important. It's not about publishing that research paper which 10 of your colleagues will read and 5 of them will understand, but it benefits none and nobody. We have to do research which benefits everybody. Okay, and that is very, very important. So engagement with people, engagement with industry, engagement with government, engagement with legislators, policymakers are important. So we have to make our research accessible, understandable, in a language which a common man can understand. Only then the research will be beneficial. Now, if I, as an engineer or a scientist, publish something about cancer, yes, you have to do that in good journals, in nature journals, because that is what scientists do. But then what is the outcome of it? Can we bring out a medicine which will maybe cure a particular cancer? And then what are the legal implications of it? Okay, so what we need to do, we need to create policy papers, brief documents which people or government can understand so that they can use it. We can create white papers, which is like more lengthier, but again in an accessible language. We have to make sure that we create communication channels like what you have at the Parul University. You are making people understand what the academics are doing. This outreach through social media, outreach through your journals, online magazines, this brings academics closer to society. As academics and researchers, we try to live very secluded life. We are kind of detached from the society. We live in our own, in our bubble where we do our work and not think. What you are doing is bringing our work out to the open. And that is what we need to do a lot more, to make sure that people get to know what I am doing, and then they can think, what are the benefits that can come out of it? Because every research will have an impact, okay? Be it on industry, be it on governance, be it on education, whatever. There will be some impact, some useful benefit, and that has to be communicated. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. So there is a vast difference between the science-oriented lab researchers and the social science researchers. So in your opinion, what may be a good roadmap for researchers in social sciences like law? Because we find a scenario whereby many social science researchers may struggle to introduce their research findings to the stakeholders like the government for the holistic development of the society. So what do you think can help?
Right. So social sciences, we do doctrinal research, theoretical research, and we also do what we call the empirical research. Okay, we interview people, we do experiments, and then we have data, and based on that we write. Okay, so social science is fundamentally that way different from STEM, where you have a lab where you can do experiments, you have data, and from that data you have a product or some result to it. In social sciences, we have what we call options, possibilities, okay, ways of interpreting things. Okay. Now, what is problematic with that kind of research? The research outcome is not always, the benefit from that research outcome is not always clear to the general public. Now, recently I wrote a paper with a colleague from computer science. It's about how to regulate delivery robots. So in a couple of years' time, you will have these delivery robots, which will be about this much in size, delivering anything from medicine. Your Amazon delivery can happen using these delivery robots. The problem is these delivery robots will be going up and down pavements. Okay. Now, genuinely, if you look at the legal framework on who can access pavements, are human beings. Yeah. Okay, pedestrians. Yeah. So, what would be the legal status of this delivery robot? Is it a pedestrian? Is it a vehicle? Is it like a wheelchair? What is it? What is the legal position of that particular thing? So this was something we were thinking about, and then we kind of came up with a solution that it should have a similar right like a pedestrian. Okay. Now, when we wrote that article, we came up with this thinking and everything, but then we realized not everyone will understand what we are arguing, particularly the industry which is making this robot. So what we created, we created a one-page document. In very simple terms, we explained what are the legal issues, how you can address them, what are the challenges you may face, and what are the results you can have. So making our research, again, going back to this our previous question you asked, and I said the similar sort of thing, making our research accessible to people, okay? And only then people will understand the benefit of it. The industry will understand the benefit of it. Okay, it's a question of conversation, it's a question of communication, which will ensure that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So my final question to you, sir. So basically at Parul University, we have categorized our areas of research agendas into 5 verticals that are basically set to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. We have Smart India, Shape India, Safe India, Health, and Humanities. Right. So my question is, please, can you tell us how we may create a sturdy research infrastructure for achieving these aims that we have set?
Very interesting. I actually looked at your this research and the 6 big verticals you have. Very inspiring. Smart India, Safe India. You look at humanities, and if you look at them, there are intersections, commonalities between them, where interest issues come together, converge, and that this kind of template, this aim, can in a way to make them foolproof or sturdy in future. What you can do is you can ensure that people working in different issues under them to work together.
Okay.
What we were discussing, if you remember, what we were discussing about interdisciplinarity. The benefit of having goals like this, which are in some way broad, but which are also ensures that they have got a sustainable future, it is that scope it creates of bringing people together. Okay, You remember we were discussing about having solution not from one perspective, but solution involving different people having different perspectives. And in the end, you have a solution which is workable. So it's a great aims as such, but the aim, it will only work if you bring people together to ensure that you can achieve those outcomes. And that will ensure the future and the success of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So collaboration is the key.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much. And are there any last words you'd like to leave for students, researchers, just words of advice, encouragement?
Oh, well, thank you for the interview. Well, for students, never stop dreaming. That is very important. Never be less curious. Always ask that question. Remember, there is no stupid question. Always ask your teachers, your lecturers, your professors questions, because that is important. That shows curiosity. A curious mind is never an ideal mind. And as I said at the very beginning, critical thinking is important. Do not accept anything the way it has been going on. Change only comes if you question. For researchers, it is also important to remember that it is needed for you to be curious, have that curiosity within yourself, finding that issues which are relevant for the society, and then try to find a solution, which is again important. And finally, but because I come from the legal discipline, as a legal discipline, we have to understand that interdisciplinarity is the way forward, which is the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We have heard from Dr. Basu. Like he said, change only comes if we question. Thank you for joining us.